Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Divorced Woman's Guide podcast. How are you doing today? I hope that you guys are feeling fabulous and doing well. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys today in this episode all about what my divorce taught me about love, marriage, and relationships. So, I don't know about you guys, but when I got married, I definitely was not thinking that I was ever going to get divorced. I did not think that that was ever something that was going to be in my wheelhouse of needing to know anything about. However, what I will tell you is that what my divorce has taught me is that I know myself probably better now as a result of it than I did prior. And even though I was in therapy, I still feel like what I endured and what I went through as a result of my divorce taught me things about myself that I just know that I would have never learned by myself. And so what I wanted to share with you guys today are some of those things that I learned, 5 to be specific. So the first one is a big one, you guys. You're going to want to write these down. The first one is that I learned to finally start paying attention to red flags, right? I don't know about you guys, but when I was in my marriage, I was blind as a bat. And that's mostly why I feel like I got blindsided 5.5 years ago. However, what I stopped paying attention to when I say the red flags, what I really mean is paying attention to your intuition. And so by not paying attention to those red flags, I instead justified his actions, right? I saw him through the lens that he wanted me to see, right? And at the end of the day, I loved him. I believed that he loved me. And so in no way did I ever want to see the flags as red. And so now let me tell you, I am not shy on calling out red flags. And I've learned to pay attention to them. I've learned what they feel like. And it's something that I encourage you guys to start thinking about, right? When we look back, hindsight is 2020. And so at the end of the day, you guys can probably look back and go, yeah, I remember in that moment, like I thought that something was up, but I didn't say anything. And so now, and what I've done in my future relationships and even in my current one is really to start paying attention to those moments where something feels uncomfortable and ask questions about it. Number 2 lesson that I learned, okay, is that I learned what truly living alone feels like. And I'm not saying that that was a negative thing. And let me tell you, being single and alone is way better than being married and alone. And I learned not only what that felt like to live in a house by myself, but I also got to learn how to truly afford my life by myself. The other part of it too, that was most important to me, and I'm sure many of you guys listening feel the same way, is that for the first time in my life, when my kids were with their dad, I finally had time to myself. I don't know about you guys, but when I was married, I never got alone time, not even when I had to pee, when I was in the shower. There was always a knock at the door. There was always somebody needing something. And my divorce taught me how to live alone. And a big part of that was getting comfortable with the alone time, the me time. And I remember how hard it was in the beginning. And now, oh my God, I cherish it. And I love having my alone time. I can't even tell you guys how much. And some of you guys may be thinking, oh my God, I want to be there. You will get there. I promise. It just takes time. The third thing that I learned was I got to make new friends. So I was the first, and I'm still the only person in my friend circle that got divorced. And for those of you out there who know, when you are divorced, you live a very different life than your married friends. And together we had a lot of couple friends. And yes, I have retained a lot of them in my life. And, I'm still very good friends with, the girls, the women that are my friends. But what I started to realize was that while we were keeping in touch on the phone and texting, I didn't see them regularly. And yes, I know that COVID happened, but I got separated 5.5 years ago. And so what ended up happening was that, any night I didn't have my kids and I wanted to grab a bite or I wanted to go grab a drink, I would call my married friends and they're like, oh, I can't, I've got to do this and the kid that and the husband this. And so it really forced me to put myself out there, and I had to look at other places, right? I had to learn what my hobbies were to be able to venture out and to start meeting people so that I felt like I had people that I could hang out with and not just rely on my married friends who, at the end of the day, didn't have the same flexibility that I did. So I learned how to make new friends. Number 4 is I learned how to change my mindset from victim to owner. So let me explain that for a second. So when I say that I had a victim mindset, I was always queen of pointing the finger, right? You did this, you did that, you made me this, you made me that. And what my divorce taught me was that I was really good at pointing my finger, and I was good at pointing it to the other person. And what my divorce taught me was learning to point the finger at myself and to start owning my life. And so what that set me up for was being able to shift my mindset from surviving, right? From just barely surviving to actually thriving, to being in a place where I was taking ownership, I was taking responsibilities, right? And once I was finally able to do that, I was able to actually move forward. I was able to heal. I was able to start creating the life that I wanted. I was so stuck in scarcity, and scarcity mindset is not the place to be. And I know so many of you guys listening are in that place. And it is possible to shift into abundance, to shift into thriving. There are tools that you can learn. There's tools that I teach my clients that help you to stop falling back into autopilot of the way that you were thinking, almost like getting you off the hamster wheel and learning how to think differently. So changing your mindset was number 4. And number 5, guys, this is a big one. And I know a lot of you guys are going to relate to this. And that is that my divorce taught me that I am worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of success. I am worthy of happiness. I am worthy of abundance. I am worthy of generosity. I am worthy of authenticity, right? How many of you guys lost yourself in your marriage? I know I did. I remember the first time that I told my now ex-husband, that I wanted a divorce. I looked at myself in the mirror and went, who the heck is staring back at me? And I didn't know who I was. I was able, after my divorce, to really reinvent myself, to really take back the parts of me that I missed, to take back the parts that I had buried, to start being the woman that I wanted to be, instead of showing up as a version of somebody that I thought everybody wanted me to be, or showing up in the vision of what they saw me as, is what they wanted me to be. And I used to be a perfectionist. How many of you guys recovering perfectionists out there, right? And I also stopped saying yes to everything. I stopped caring about what other people think. How many of you guys are people pleasers, right? I stopped doing that. And loving myself, putting myself first, actually gave me so much clarity around every other relationship in my life and where it was that I wanted to focus, who I wanted in my life, who I wanted to focus on. Did these people align with my values? Are these real friendships that I want to continue having? And so what I hope you guys are getting from this episode is there is a gift in divorce. I say that all the time. My divorce was the best gift I gave to myself, because I wouldn't be standing here today. I wouldn't be here experiencing love. I wouldn't be here experiencing worth. I wouldn't be here experiencing success and happiness and joy. And so at the end of the day, what my divorce taught me as it relates to love, relationships, and future marriage is that I am worthy of having all of those things. And that is something that I would never in a million years ever take back. So that is today's episode, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. You know that with every episode, I am trying to help you navigate wherever it is that you guys are in your process, to give you just some nuggets of information to show you that the other side is bright and shiny, and it gets to be whatever it is that you guys want. If you guys are tuning in, be sure to subscribe. Click the subscribe button so that you guys don't miss a single episode that comes out every single week. Sending you all so much love, light, and joy. Mwah. Bye, everybody.